Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it's Friday, May the 3rd. This will be our chart lesson for today, and I'm going to try to keep it short today. It's another really good day. There was some news that came, a lot of good news came out this morning. I don't know if I believe it or not, but it doesn't matter. The market did, and look at this move. This has just been we've complained forever about all the chop and the no movement, but we're getting all the movements you can stand now. And when you see a trend like this, you just got to get on with it. And, you got to find these little trend lines. And that was the only thing that would have kept you in these trades going up through here. So, make sure you follow your trend lines and pay attention to them. And even this little short-term trend line here worked really well. And I drew this one. Notice this little trend line, I drew it kind of light because we've been getting some of these tight ones, but we find out the real trend line's further over. And you can see this is the same line as this one and this one. And, I just drew it down to the low of the day, expecting that something will probably happen, that's probably going to end up being the channel that eventually will break out of here and come lower. And we did. And so let's talk about the trades, and I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet today. But again, it's just been some really good movement, and we got so lulled to sleep there for the longest that we couldn't get any good movement, but we're getting it now. So get it while you can, because you never know when we're going to go back to those days that look like this all day. And really, if you didn't get in here early, there hadn't been a whole lot going on since then. I was here, I was done really early today because every one of these trades, guess what, except for, I think every one of these, I don't think it was any of these that didn't get a runner. Every one of these trades got a runner. So, all you had to do was get in them, and it was good to go, and it was easy money. And this was the first one. There wasn't really a good setup on this one. And I wasn't in here when the news, this was setting up when I got ready to trade, and I didn't like that entry. After spike up like that off news, a lot of times the news takes it back right away. But I went ahead and drew my lines, and at first I thought this line was probably either here or maybe up here. But after it, once we got a little more price action in place, I drew, I believe that to be it right there. Let's talk about the trade. You got a two-legged pullback to a possible trend line right here. We didn't quite touch it, but it is a second entry long. So really, I'll draw this a little bigger. You could have entered. Let me make the bars a little bigger too. So you could have entered right there. I thought it was a little risky. So when we had the failed second entry short, you notice we broke lower there first, then broke lower. So you got a failed second entry short. That's a trap. And, even though it's at the high, when you're moving like this, you just got to take a chance. And you notice you couldn't really use limit orders to get in and down. People ask me, I talk a lot about limit orders. I've been using them more. But those are generally only work when you got big bars and the market's not moving as fast, or you're in places where you're not quite 100% sure. But you couldn't hardly, if you tried to use limit orders today, you just got in trouble. I only used one limit order today, and that was right here, and I'll talk about that in a minute. This was the first trade I took. There was one right here. If you took it, it's okay. Here's the next one I saw. It's a failed second entry short. It's a trap. Easy run, easy scalp, and any runners were safe. Got a chance to enter here the same way. You could have gotten in with a limit order possibly here, but actually I know you could have gotten in with a limit order, but I just used a stop. I didn't want to miss any of these trades. We did get a little break right there, and then notice we got two legs up, and then that's when we corrected here. This one was a little bit more, I drew this one in green. It's a little more risky. Look at all the overlap, but it's a nice reversal bar right off the trend line again. So I went with it, put my stop right there, and off it went. No runners this time, though, unfortunately. it was really tempting to enter here again, but that's a pretty good move. And here's the main reason that I was looking for it to come back down to another trend line, or maybe even if this was it for the sell-off to start, was if you take this first, that's like your first move right there. And you can see I keep losing my connection here on my internet. I've had internet troubles. And so I was looking for a target of right there. And you can see we missed that, we overshot that by maybe a point or so. And so that one, this one was a little risky. This one I definitely didn't like entering. You don't know exactly I wasn't sure if this was going to be the line here or if maybe it was going to be here. And it might have been either one, but I believe it to be this one off those first two swings. You'll get these overshoots a lot like this in the overnight hours. So I started with my line there. When we bounced right off of it, I waited for the break, and then I just, or as soon as I saw that little bar break lower right there, I put my stop right above it. Now, actually, on this one I did. I used the limit order. I waited for a break ahead, and I dropped my limit order right there. It ticked right back and got me and took off. Again, runners were safe. A chance to add on again here, and it's right at the highs, but that's the first break of this trend line, and you can see that was coming into play. So I felt like it was worth taking. It broke lower first and then went higher. So you go along right above this little bar here. It's a little trap, and it moved on pretty quickly. And again, any runners were still going. And once you got up here and started all this, that's where I exited anything I had left. This one's a little more, we got a double bottom, or a double top, I'm sorry, here. Notice that we had a break here, and there's two legs up again. You got one leg really, and then a second leg. We didn't quite get that second one. So I exited right here, and anything I had left. And I was tempted to go short here, but I was pretty much done for the day. I was done early. Once we got to here, I was done, and that was just a little after 9 o'clock this morning. And but this is a more aggressive. It's a double top. It's a second entry short. Notice off this low, you got a first entry, then a second entry, and we did have a little trap up here already. And so I didn't really like these first two bars, but when I saw that one, you could have gotten, you could have either used a stop there. Probably better to get a limit order right on it, or maybe a tick into it. You probably wouldn't have got filled if you use a limit order, unless you went right on the low. But you were looking for prices to come back and retest this breakout area right here, and that's exactly where they came to before they bounced again. And you might have thought about going long there, but after the double top, the trend line break, the lower low, I would be real leery of longs. The only reason I have this one marked as long is because there's a failed second entry short, just like we had. Where was the other one at? Anyway, there's a failed second entry short here. First entry short, second entry short, and so that's a trap. And this one was, it took a little bit of work, but this one moved on back up, and there's a little channel kind of working down there too. You got a lower high here with another little double top trap, that one tick, and again, go short with your stop or drop a limit order right there close to that little bar. That bar is only 2 ticks, so another easy scalp. And guess what? Any runners would still be running on this one. I drew this one in green. It's because it's near these lows. It's a little more aggressive, but guess what? It's a failed second entry long. First entry long, second entry long, fails and turns down. Generally you see these dojis like that at reversal type areas. But again, with it being this close, I don't know if I'd have taken that trade, but the fact that that trap is there makes it worthwhile if you want to be a little more aggressive. And you can see it was an easy scalp, not much more. And now we're rallying back up. We got a break of this little overshoot of this trend channel here. And we're testing this breakout area again. So really good day. Got a little quiet later on in the day, but if you were here early, you should have gotten some of this. Really easy trades. Like I said, all your runners were easily safe, and you know, I just hope it keeps moving like this. So we're only about 10 minutes today. But notice too, we kind of had a little range looking thing up here, and this is a breakout pullback short on top of the fact that it's a trap and all that. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else pertinent today that would be really interesting. That's about it. If you did get trapped in this right here, let's say you did go long right here, when that bar closed back down and we got hung up in all this, I would have exited that trade, or at least put my stop, made sure my stop was no more than a couple of ticks below this. They would have got you. Definitely when it pulled back up here and closed back down, if you weren't out yet, I would have exited on this bar right in here before it ever went lower. So, but I explained why you didn't really want to enter here. This one was really still aggressive, but this one was really more aggressive because we were well over our target that I was looking for, first of all. But then secondly, we had a little bit of a break of this trend line down here, and then we had two legs up to a new high. So I was looking for this just to kind of be a little temporary trend on a possible bigger trend. And again, I wasn't sure if it was here or here, but I believe that to be it. We got the break of that one, then two legs up, and we've been correcting ever since. You know, you usually get a correction that lasts at least an hour or so. I would say this one started at 10 and it went to, you know, almost 2, so more than enough time so we could rally on out of here again. We still got 30 minutes left in the closing today, so it wouldn't surprise me if we're not back up here making a new high before the day's over. They love this market for whatever reason. You know, we don't care why. All we want to do is follow it and get some of it, but they love this market. I guess there's just nowhere else to put your money, and people are desperate for somewhere to invest. But again, it doesn't matter why. All we care about is that we're getting movement, and we want to get our piece of it. So I'm going to wrap it up and keep it short today. I'm going to get out of here early. It's a nasty day, but it's Friday, and it's been a really good trading week. So I'm going to go enjoy the weekend with my family, and hope you do the same, and I hope you had a good trading week, and we'll be back to do it again next week. So this is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.